Hello everybody and welcome back to our Fairies and Dragons summer camp. My name is Allison and today I'm going to be teaching you how to create this awesome canvas of this dragon breathing some fire. So let's get started. Alright, so what you'll need is you'll need some brushes, your canvas that's pre-drawn out for you, some water to switch colors, some palettes, and then all of your colors. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to be painting the background of this, that dark blue. So we have our dark blue here. I'm going to go ahead, pour some of that out. If you do want your blue darker than this, what you can do is mix some black into it if you want, and it'll get a darker blue. But I like this blue, so I'm going to keep it just like this. You don't want to mix too much black into your blue, otherwise it's going to look too black, and then you won't be able to tell the difference between your dragon and the sky. So I'm just painting the sky over here. If you get some drippies, don't worry, we're going to be painting all of that. But using the little guide that you got, that's what I'm using to paint in the sky here. Going all the way up the dragon's neck. And if you need to or want to, you can do 2 coats of the acrylic on your canvas if it's a little brush strokey, if you don't like that look. If you want more of that solid color, you can do another coat of your acrylic. But I'm just painting the sky. Very excited about this dragon guy. You guys gonna name your dragon? You can always put your dragon's name on the canvas too if you wanted to name your dragon. I don't know what I'm gonna name my dragon. I think I'm gonna name him Henry. But you get to name your dragon whatever you want to name it. So I'm just painting in the sky. I'm gonna paint up here as well, because this is also the sky up here. Just using that midnight blue. And like I talked about, if you want to make it darker, you definitely can. I just wouldn't make it too dark, otherwise we won't be able to tell the difference between the sky. So I'm going to go ahead and finish painting in this sky really quick, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I finished my sky, and I did put another layer of paint on there just to get it nice and opaque. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take our yellow. I'm going to paint this whole section in the yellow, just like this. The whole thing. What you can do too is you can paint over on the edges if you want to paint over on the edges. If you were to do that though, I'd recommend laying down some newspaper or a drop cloth or something, so that way you can paint the edges and not have to worry about getting it everywhere and staining stuff, because the acrylics, they can stain stuff. I'm just getting real careful right next to that blue. Usually I would let the blue dry, but just for teaching you guys, I let the blue be a little bit wet. So I'm just going to go right next to the blue. I'm going to be real nice and careful. But if I were you, I'd definitely let it dry first, so that way you don't accidentally mix your colors on your canvas. And when I am going next to the blue, I am checking my brush to make sure there's no blue on my brush before I go and start with the yellow again. And to get in these nice little areas, I'm going to grab a smaller brush here. If you don't have a smaller brush, the back of your brush will work just fine for these little details. I'm just going to whoop right there. Check my brush for any blue, because I'm going right next to this really wet blue, so I just want to make sure I'm not getting any blue on my brush, because that would not be lovely. Perfect. I did get some blue on my brush, so I wiped it out over there. That way there's no more blue on my brush. So when I dip back into the yellow, I'll have a ton of blue on my brush. Just gonna get right up in there. Make sure to get all the blue off my brush before I start with the yellow again. Ta-da, just like that. Now what happened is I did get a little bit of blue in my brush right there, but that's okay. So we're going to be putting some other colors in there as well. So now that that's all yellow, the yellow's nice and bright. So I don't think we need to do another layer of yellow. So I'm just going to go right into my black. And now we're going to paint my dragon. And I'm going to name him Henry. So we're going to paint Henry now. I'm going to grab my brush, get it all nice and dry. Grab my black. I'm going to hold it over here because sometimes it likes to drip. I'm going to start painting Henry. And like I said, if you want to, I'm sorry about that tapping noise. Let me see if I can set my palette down here. And then you can see, depending on how opaque your black is, you can see if you want to do another layer of black. But I think our black is pretty opaque, so I think we'll be okay. I'm just going to fill Henry in. And like I said, you can even paint in the name of your dragon on your piece, or you can paint your name too. If you want to maybe hang this outside of your door, so that way you could put your name and your name's room. Like my name is Allison, so I could put Allison's room on there. And there's a big scary dragon, so that way my siblings won't go in my room because there's a big scary dragon on there. But I'm just going to finish painting Henry in. And then I'm going to let that yellow dry. And then we're going to do the details of the fire. So I'll be right back. Alright, so my yellow is all dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean off one of my brushes here. Just like that. And then I'm going to grab some orange over here. And starting by the mouth here, we're going to go like this. Just create little swirlies. You don't have to think about it too hard. We're going to create a bunch of swirlies. Just like that. This is the super fun part. It's just creating the little swirlies. And you can even go like this. You can go like that. Have the swirlies go. I dropped into my red. Have the swirlies go different directions. You can even mix together some of your red and some of your orange if you're feeling up to it. But I'm just gonna do plain orange, plain red. You can go ahead and add some swirlies on top of each other even to really create that nice cool fire look. You can go all the way up to the edge of where the fire is gonna be. And do some cool stuff, kind of like that. Make it look really cool. Then you can even add some swirls even inside of there, so that way it's all super looks cool and fiery. So we're gonna let this orange dry now, and then we're gonna do some red. I'm just gonna back the orange all the way up to like his mouth. All right, so I'll be back when that orange is all dry. Alright, so my orange isn't all the way dry, but I want to see what happens when I kind of put the red in there and see if they'll mix together. I think that would look really cool. If you want to wait until your orange completely dries and do red on top, it's going to look more like this, where the red is on top of the orange. But like I said, I feel like it would look really cool if we do the red while the orange is just a little bit wet. So let's experiment here. So I'm going to grab the red and go like this. And swirl it just like we did with the orange. I feel like that looks really cool. So let's keep going. Do some more swirls. You can go in again and do another coat on top of it if it's not as opaque as you want. You can do some more swirlies. Really make it look nice and fiery. Add some more red and some of your swirls to make it look extra fiery, look really cool. Just like that. It looks really cool. I'm excited that I decided to do that. We're going to do some more swirlies around, make it look extra fiery. More swirlies. Alright, I'm going to do one more swirl and then I think I'm all done. Just like that. I think that looks really nice. Alright, so we are all finished. So I want to show you too. Just with that blue, you can already see that they're really similar colors. So I wouldn't put too much black in your blue at the beginning. But we are all done. So what I want you to do is let this dry overnight before you try to hang it anywhere or touch it, just to let it dry completely. And then you can hang it up. I would let this dry super good if you wanted to do your name, like I would do Allison's room, or maybe I'd write Henry on here because that's what I named my dragon. But I would let that dry overnight before you add any details like that and before you hang it up. But we are all finished. Be sure to check out our other videos for the Fairies and Dragons summer camp. We're going to be doing a craft. We're doing that ceramic dragon egg, and it's going to be super fun. So tune into those other videos, and until next time, goodbye.